What's up, guys? So the next thing I want to talk about is how to sell a battery-only backup if you're not really saving them money. And first of all, I'd try to avoid setting an appointment for something like this, right? It doesn't pay that much. Again, you're not solving a big problem. You approach them. So, yeah, come back on Thursday. Let's talk about it. Like, respectfully, I live in Fresno. Like, I'm just here today. Let me show you what it looks like. Do you have a countertop I can borrow? Yeah, at least I'm going to write the information down so you have something to think about. You have a corner of the table I can borrow? So the first thing you'll try to do is you'll try to build pain around the time of use. And you're not going to get into, try to avoid like monthly savings conversations. Well, it's not solar. Oh, well, how much exactly am I going to save? And is it going to be less than that or more than that? You can technically figure that out, but just make it about the kilowatt hour rate. Well, right now, let's look at the rate. They're charging 70 cents between 5 and 9. How much power do you guys use between 5 and 9? Oh, half your power? That's funny. So PG&E charges you when you get home from work, which is exactly when you would finally have time to do the laundry, or finally have time to plug in your car, or finally have time to turn on the AC. When you actually want to use your power, they're charging double the rate. So just educating them about this time of use stuff and when they're using their power is going to build pain in how bad these rates suck at this time and this time. And like really put it in perspective. Okay, so you're using 30 kilowatt hours a day. We think half of it is time of use. So you're paying an extra 35 cents. So this is costing you $3.50 a day. 10 kilowatt hours times 35 cents extra spread between off-peak and peak. What are you gonna do about this? Does this like bother you that like using your stuff when you're home is so much more expensive, twice as expensive? Okay, so what the battery is gonna do is it's gonna get you all the power, no matter when you use it, on this off-peak rate. I'm gonna put a 20 kilowatt hour battery in, or 10, depending on how much they use during peak. And then it doesn't matter when you use the power, it's gonna be on this off-peak rate of 32 cents. That's it. That's the story. Building a lot of pain about peak rates, educating them on that. That's it. That's the story. Now look, let's submit an application to see if you're approved. Start closing right there. That's it. Now they're going to give you some pushback, and that's where you have your other features and benefits, right? One is the tax credit. What you're going to love is that you're actually going to get 20% cash back on this battery system. So that's kind of what pushed Nancy over the line and made it a no-brainer for her. What Mike liked is that because it's no money out of pocket, he's actually saving from month one. So you have all these things. Let's just see if you qualify. What's your last name? Let's check your credit. What's your social? As far as things go, do you want the batteries inside or out? If it's a higher margin deal, you might say something like, now everyone we do this for, we're going to replace all your lights with LED lighting. Do you prefer the warmer or cool lighting? And you can keep going through it. It's just a sell. If you have to, this is a big one, you start building pain on how often you guys lose power. Okay, you guys have any food in the freezer? What's the value of the food in the freezer? Okay, so if this saved your food in the freezer one time, it'd pay for itself that year. How important is it for you guys to have your phones and lights working in an emergency situation? How important is it to maybe start talking about world events? You guys see what's happening with Iran. You see what's happening with the grid. Part of the problem is they want everyone to have electric cars, and it's putting a lot of strain on the grid. So I think it's really going to protect you from the strain on the grid is going to be a battery. It's going to be grid independence, right? If I can fit you in with the neighbors, do me a favor, put our sign out front. I'll drop the price down from 120 to 115 to 110. So you have your value props, you have your dropping price mechanisms, and all you're gonna do is keep building and keep asking them to buy. And that's it. It's how you sell a battery. It's not rocket science. Keep it simple. Make sure you're building multiple value points. Make sure you're closing early and you're asking them to buy a lot. And if they're not your customer, if they don't really want a battery, or they don't really have any pain points around power outages and peak usage, that's not interesting to them, then by closing early and often, you'll identify that and you'll be able to move on with your life. That's why you close early and often. Plus, they really might fail credit. Half the people out there do. So, hey, respectfully, I understand that we walk through this, but I do have a lot of appointments to get to today, and we don't even know if you're going to qualify. It's just a soft credit check. Is it okay if we submit an application before we continue our conversation much longer? Because like I said, I have a busy schedule, and it's important for everyone that I'm working with and everyone that I'm helping that I work with people that are actually able to do the program. All right? Thanks. What was your last name?